Hi there, today we're going to look at a Master GMAT critical reasoning question, and we're going to actually look at a more advanced question. For those of you who want to try it, you already know you can actually pause the recording for however long you need, give it a go, and then unpause it in order to listen to the explanations. So go ahead and pause it now. Alright, those of you who tried it, I hope you figured it out. Not easy stuff, a little bit tricky, but not too horrible. So basically the first step is to look at the question prompt, and the question prompt basically says the researcher's conclusion relies on which of the following assumptions. This means this is an assumption question, and in assumption questions we already know we're looking for the gap between the existing premises they give us and the conclusion they give us. We're not looking for new premises, we're not looking for another conclusion. Okay, we're looking at why the author got to that conclusion, what was unsaid. So basically the next step in our work order is to try and figure out what the conclusion and premises are, and we already know, and this one's quite obvious, that the researchers have hypothesized that the flying monkey population is etc., etc. We know that that whole sentence is basically the conclusion because of the word hypothesized. That's our clue. Everything else that comes before it is basically premises. So we have to find out why the author basically made that conclusion. So we go straight to the answer choices. Let's look at A. In A, it basically talked about the striped panther and the striped panther's anatomy. However, we need a conclusion based on the premises, and the researchers didn't actually have to assume anything specific about the panther's biology. So while this answer choice provides new information about the striped panther's hind leg muscles, which might explain why the panther reaches other monkey species, but not the Tyruvian flying monkey species, the developed hind leg muscles aren't really a necessary assumption. It doesn't really give us anything over here. In B, basically what we're looking at over here is new information which talks about Tyruvian flying monkeys' web limbs allow downward parachuting or even horizontal gliding, but are not designed to enable it to soar upwards when fleeing from earthbound predators. We don't need new information. There are actually two reasons to cancel this answer choice. The first one is basically that it's new information or new premises. We don't need that. Moreover, we could eliminate this answer choice because this actually weakens the conclusion. It claims that the monkey can be caught by ground predators, let's say such as the striped panther. So we actually need to get rid of, we're looking at for something that actually agrees with the conclusion. An assumption can't contradict a conclusion. So we go to C, and in C we see that the researchers must have assumed that there's a fundamental difference between the flying monkey and other species that prevents the striped tiger from getting to the flying monkey. So the first part of this answer choice is already known to us. The panther preys on other types of monkeys. And since the striped panther always remains on the ground, it follows that these monkeys must descend. So as for the assumption, for the flying monkey population to keep growing, the researchers must at the very least assume it has enough food and that it is well beyond the reach of the striped panther. So this kind of makes sense. A little confusing, a little long, but it does make sense in terms of bridging the gap between the premises and the conclusion. So we go to the next, we have to keep it obviously, we go to the next answer choice, and D could actually be eliminated for two reasons. A, this is new information. We don't want new information, obviously. And B, this actually weakens the conclusion because it provides a reason why the flying monkey population will not grow. Right? Remember, the assumption must always agree with the conclusion. And of course, we get to our last one, which is E. And in E, we have basically an illogical answer choice, because if the author had assumed that the flying monkey's extra skin prevented it from escaping its predators, then he or she wouldn't have concluded that the flying monkey population is constantly growing. So we can eliminate that as well. And of course, what we're left with is the correct answer choice, which should be C. And indeed, we have our time awareness tool, of course. Remember, this is one of the things people love. about the program as well is that this little tool will make you extremely aware of how long it takes you to answer a question, which is obviously going to help you with your timing strategies later on. Click OK. Obviously we took longer than 3:30 here. And we get a beautiful answer which breaks down the question quite nicely, makes everything very clear, and also explains why this answer choice is correct. And that's it. That's how we attack harder assumption questions. We'll probably see more of those in the near future.